I draw many dragons. I'm Saskia from Cosmic Creations and I make many artworks, I make many sketches, many drawings, but especially those dragon sketches, they have been very popular on social media. And that's not a coincidence, because the dragons are the drawings that I enjoy making the most. But we've never really talked about why dragons. Why do I love dragons so much that I fill sketchbook after sketchbook with them? But I also make many other drawings like portraits and animals, but always I find my way back to drawing the dragons. I think you can say I'm a bit obsessed with dragons, and in this video I actually want to tell you the story behind the art, the story behind the artist. It's going to be a bit personal video, so if you're not into that, I totally get that. My dragons, they actually are all rooted in my childhood. When I was very young I watched a movie and it is called The Dragon Who Wasn't. Or was he? And I highly recommend watching that. It is not really a dragon, it's more a sort of like a drake type creature. But to me as a kid that was a dragon. But the other thing was I was not a happy child. I was actually very unhappy and unloved child. And at a very young age I already had to go through things that you wouldn't even wish an adult would need to go through. But I also had like very rich imagination. And I loved dragons because of that movie. So I started imagining a world. I started imagining dragons. And in my fantasy, in my mind, I created like very powerful, very large dragons that could take me away, that would protect me, that would guard me. And those dragons, they kind of stayed with me. And sometimes I think if I had not made a world from imagination, if I had not created an entire world in my mind filled with dragons, I would not have been able to get through all of that. And as the years gone by, every time when I was struggling really bad, I kind of found my way back. I could like really focus on thinking about a dragon that I made up. I could almost see it in my mind. You know, when you have that imagination, and you can, when you think of an apple, you can clearly see the apple. In my mind, I could clearly see that dragon, but I wasn't drawing them yet. They were my friends, they were with me. I know they weren't real, just bear with me. But thinking about them and making them up and making up stories, that kind of helps me to let my mind focus on something else than the bad things that were happening. That was kind of a trick that I kept during my whole life. And at some point when my life became calmer, I wanted to draw the dragons. So in my head I was like, oh, I'm going to grab a pencil, buy a sketchbook, draw the dragons, and then there they are exactly as they are in my mind. But no, the dragons that I drew, they were really bad. In fact, everything that I drew was really bad, because by that time I was already an adult and I had not only made up dragons, I had read Lord of the Rings, so I was also making up elves and I was also making up other creatures, and my fantasy world became bigger and bigger with more inhabitants. And I was not able to draw them. I was actually really bad at drawing them. And for a long time I actually believed I would never be an artist. But deep down I had all that creativity inside of me, because from a very young age I trained myself to save myself with creativity, with creating a world, with imagining things. And now that my life had become a lot calmer, that entire world felt so contained, and I wanted to find a way to get that out. So I started to draw again, but then I started to do YouTube tutorials, and at some point I started to draw animals. And that was actually that I was able to do. So I started to sketch many animals. Till at some point I discovered that by drawing those animals I was studying their anatomy, and that really improved my dragons. So at some point I said to myself, it's time to start drawing the dragons again. So I decided to fill a sketchbook with dragons, and I draw them with ballpoint pen. It's not that I only draw with ballpoint pen, but that sketchbook that was dedicated to the dragons, these are the first drafts of my dragons. And I might continue them in Photoshop. I have done with a couple already. But the first draft of these dragons I wanted to make with pen, so I wasn't able to erase any mistake. Because I'm not able to erase all the things that happened in my life either. I can only look forward and I can only move forward. So I thought that was kind of inspirational or something. So a dragon sketchbook with ballpoint sketches it became. And this is actually the second one, because in the first one I was also drawing many other things, but when I had filled that one I decided, no, the dragons need their own sketchbook without anything else in it, because they are too important to me. I also have a video up about my dragon drawing journey, but that's more about how I learned to draw dragons, and if you want to learn to draw dragons as well, I will link it for you in the description of this video. And now that we're talking about dragons, there's also another question that I get a lot, and that is, what is your favorite type of dragon? There is a lot of discussion about types of dragons, by the way, because to me personally, I think the word dragon is like an umbrella term. So when I talk about dragons, I also mean wyverns and drakes and hydras, or like all dragon-like creatures. But to me, the true dragons are the dragons with 6 limbs. So they have 2 wings, they have 2 arms, and they have 2 hind legs. And these are intelligent creatures, like they could speak a language and you could learn that language and talk to them. But that's how it is in my world building. And because they are fantasy creatures, they are mythical creatures, and dragons, they have different meanings in different parts of the world. So there is not really a right or wrong here. So it really depends what kind of universe you're designing your creature for. If it would be for the Dungeons and Dragons universe, it would be like way more strict. There's a very clear separations between wyverns and dragons. But when you have like Game of Thrones, for example, the dragons that you see in Game of Thrones is something that I would actually call a wyvern, because they have 2 hind feet and they have limbs that are their wings, but they don't have any arms. But in Game of Thrones they call them dragons, and I'm not really bothered by that, because that is how that story is built, that is how that world looks like, and it's not overlapping with Tolkien or Dungeons and Dragons, for example. So yes, in my world, dragons is like an umbrella term. They are the true dragons. Those are the ones with 6 limbs. But what is my favorite dragon? My favorite dragon is the wyvern, because wyverns make a little bit more sense to me when you look at their anatomy. They have 2 hind legs, and their arms, they have become their wings. And if you look at the evolution, all the flying creatures, apart from insects, they have like birds and bats, but also the pterodactyls, for example. They have legs and wings, but they don't have extra arms. So wyverns make a little bit more sense to me, unless a dragon would be really insect-like, if you are following my mindset here. And the way I feel about wyverns is they are more chaotic and they are more animalistic than dragons, but they are tameable, and you are able to have a bond with them like you would be able to have a bond with a dog or a horse or a crow, for example. But they are also my favorite to draw, because when I draw a true dragon, it's always a struggle where to put the arms, the extra arms, because you also need to think about how to draw the muscles around that and how all of that is going to work together in the chest area and in the shoulder and the back area. And with wyverns, I can just look at the anatomy of bats and birds, so that makes it a lot easier for me. But it's still fun to draw true dragons as well, but it's just a bit more challenging. So I have many different types of dragons in my sketchbook, and when I draw them, I usually give them a name. Not always, because sometimes I just can't think of anything, but most of my sketches get their name while I'm working on them. When I don't think of a name, I often give them the name of a friend, or sometimes I have read a character in a book or from a movie or something, and sometimes it just doesn't come to me, but most of them have names. And if you want me to tell more about the dragons and their characters and such, please let me know in the comments, because I would be happy to make a video in which I would introduce them to you. So yeah, that was a lot of me rambling about why dragons. It was a bit personal video. I hope that is okay with you. But I thank you for being with me on this journey. I thank you for watching, and I'll hope I'll see you with the next one. Bye!